Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Dustin, and I am forever joined by
Trav, as always, and it's good to have everyone back. The main cast.
The main cast is back. And holy fuck, did it feel good to say that intro. I have been missing this. I listened to the episode with Ryan, and I was like, damn, I miss my podcast because I need to vent. And before I vent, I should say, and Trav has a story as well, we're going to start off on a happier note. My fiance, my wifey, my boo, my everything, Trista, got a department manager position at her job today. So congratulations, honey. I love you. You deserve it.
Wow, congrats, Trista. That's huge.
Yes, it is. It's very big.
And I'm sure it's something that she's been literally after for however long, So, I mean,
she's only been with this job for, I think, a little over 6 months now. So the fact that she got full-time within her first couple weeks and now a department manager position within a half a year is absolutely insane.
That's absolutely
and it's in arts
nuts.
and crafts. She loves arts and crafts, so that's where she is.
That's crazy. It's nothing like, getting some kind of like promotion or whatever, upgrade, whatever you want to call it, like doing what you like to do. I mean,
right?
She's doing well for herself.
Yeah, she is. I can't say the self. I can't say the self. I can't
I
say
can't
the
say
same.
the self.
I can't say the self. I can't say the same for myself. So I'm gonna get into my story. And Trav kind of knows a little bit of it. I didn't really go into too much detail. Trav and I were going to record this yesterday, and I was at work yesterday, and I worked the last 2 days, okay? I had off Father's Day, which was great. I spent the day with my family. I went disc golfing, took the kids putt-putt for the first time. It was an awesome time. Monday comes around, bad day at work. Tuesday, even worse day at work, and we're going to get into that. So I went back to work about 2 weeks ago now. And where I work, we used to have 80 employees. So everybody had a pretty normal schedule. You'd have more than 1 or 2 days off. And then we went from 80 down to 20 something because of this pandemic. And my store is not allowed to hire people until December. So it is a fucking nightmare, as you can imagine. They're overworking us. Our hours are fucking ridiculous. It's crazy. We're working shorter hours, but our store's only open from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I'm scheduled 11 to 8:30 every day. So I'm there an hour and a half after we close. And it's one of those things where it's okay, you have to get up super early to even have some sort of morning, and you can't do anything at night because really after you worked 9.5 hours, who really wants to go do something later on after 8:30. You're going to be so tired, so worn out. So that's how it's been. Now, not this past Monday and Tuesday, but last Monday and Tuesday, I got sick with what I assume was food poisoning. Sunday night, Rylan and I ordered food from a local Mexican restaurant, and I woke up in the middle of the night not feeling the best, so I called off work, right? What any responsible human being would do. Because if I was going to work, I would have been sick at work and it would have just been a mess that nobody wanted to deal with. And customers probably would have freaked the hell out if anything would have happened at work. So I called
especially
off.
Right now.
Yeah. So fast forward, I finish out my week at work. It's no big deal. Saturday rolls around, the Saturday before Father's Day. Now, Trista and I both have cars. She has her car, I have my car. And right now, Trista's car has been very bad and she thought her car was going to blow up. It was just, there was a lot of issues. And so I asked work Saturday if I could leave early and go get her and get her car back home, however we had to do it. And they told me yes. Okay, look, it's an emergency. I understand. Go do what you need to do. Okay, cool. So yesterday, I get called into the office by one of the managers who I'm really cool with. He's a really cool guy, and he wasn't even there when this whole thing transpired on Saturday. He was off, and same with my store manager. So he calls me in the office, and he's like, I think you know why we have to have this conversation. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. And he pulls out this paper, and he was like, I have to coach you on your attendance because you called off sick. last week on Monday and Tuesday and left early on Saturday. And I was like, okay, yeah, I called off because I was sick. Like you literally just fucking said it. I was sick. And Saturday, yeah, we had an emergency because Trista can't drive her fucking car because it's literally like exploding as we speak. So I got approved to go home, right? And I only left an hour early. Like it wasn't even that big of a deal. It started to slow down. We were getting ready to close anyway. And they told me that the manager, now this manager has had it out for me ever since I came back from that job in South Carolina. She has treated me like shit. She treated me like shit during my interview and basically told me that she didn't think I was going to last at the job when they hired me back because she didn't think I would have good customer service. Turns out I am one of the best people there for customer service. So this lady has had it out for me, right? So it's been a thing. And she's the one who wrote me up. And they basically told me that because I was sick and that reflected poor attendance, that I can be terminated from my job for being sick.
Well, don't you guys have like a point system?
No, we don't have a point system.
Wow, that's where they need to wake up to that. Because where I work, they actually have a point system. It's a very small one, but it gives you that chance of like, yeah, like that doesn't even make sense for them to be like, yeah, you called in sick. Let's just call it once. Like it's 2 days or whatever, but it's like basically just one whole time. It's like that's within a close days of each other. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like just this one time, and like that doesn't even make any sense to me thinking about it. Because like, of course you should be able to call in sick. It's reality. Like people get sick. It's whatever.
Right. So they're like, yeah, just sign this paper. We would hate to fire you or terminate you because of attendance. And I looked at them. I was like, I'm not signing your fucking paper. And they're like, well, you have the right to refuse. I was like, and I'm going to. I didn't do anything wrong. So my store manager approached me because her and I closed together. She approached me later in the evening and was like, hey, after work, when we close, when we have time, would you like to sit in my office and talk to me about what's going on? And I said, yeah, I would really like that. And I went in there and I told her everything. I told her how I felt. And basically it came down to like, listen, I was fucking sick. And I was like, you have college kids that work here that call off because they're hungover, that call off to go get drunk. And I was like, and there is somebody that's still working here that has faked a family member's death twice and went to a fucking party and posted it on Snapchat. And she's still here. She is still fucking here. But nothing's done about that, right? No, but I'm actually fucking sick. And now it's a problem. And I basically told her, I was like, look, if I don't get a more consistent schedule, if you're going to terminate me for being sick, like, I'm just going to fucking leave. Well, we really don't want you to leave. You're really good at what you do. And I was like, then something needs to fucking change because I'm not going to deal with this shit. And that was it. And it just like, I was so pissed off yesterday. And I've been telling Trista too because of what's going on. I mean, it's so stressful there. It's so stressful there. And it's taking such a big toll on me mentally and like emotionally that I'm fucking drained. Like I go to work and I deal with so much bullshit in such a small amount of time that it completely just fucking throws me off for the whole day. It's awful. Like if I knew that I could walk out of there right now, like tomorrow, say I could just leave tomorrow and know that financially I'd be okay, I would do it.
Yeah.
And Trista's told me, like, listen, like, do it. We'll find ways to make it work. And I can't put like past my bills onto her because we already have enough, with rent and kids and everything else. Like to add a car payment, to add car insurance, like I can't do that to her. So I'm gonna try to find something new. But also Murphy from Project Moonboot, him and I are gonna talk here very soon. And he like really wants to set like an action plan in stone because like he wants me to work from home. And they've always taken really good care of me. It's an awesome team to be a part of. So I'm really going to try to pursue that. Even if I have to drop my availability down and just focus on that because I can't do it anymore, man. Or I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. I mean, and it's understandable. Like, and I feel like, I don't know, like, I don't know that place. I don't work there. I don't get to see how it actually is, but it's kind of got that vibe of like, they're maybe slightly taking advantage of you. I don't know, just because it's like not really taking advantage of it, just kind of like, okay, we need you to work this much, this much. Like where I work, they understand. Like there's only, I've been having to like freaking work meat department by myself because my fellow associate was like off for 3 days, and I had to basically hold down the meat wall for like that long, and it's fine. No one bugged me. I like did it the best I could. But if some big manager were to come by and see how empty maybe the steaks were or something by the end of the day, they would have said something. Like I braced for that. Nobody came by, nothing happened, but I did brace for the idea of like they're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna have to look them straight in the eye and be like, I'm one man. This is four different, like five or six different kinds of meat having to, fill. And honestly, if I didn't have to sticker, let me see, one, two, yeah, if I didn't have to sticker three different kinds of them, just go back there, take them out of the boxes, put stickers on them, like use by stickers, then it'd be easier. If I could just take it all out, chicken, you could just put it out. It has use bys on it from the box themselves. And like, if I could just go and do that, it would be easier. But you have to take the time to do all this, and there's only so much time in the day. And I know Dustin feels me when I say that. It's like sometimes you're at work and you're just like, I have a lot to do, but there's only so much time, including like your break and your lunch or whatever, however they do it there. But it's like, it gets crazy. And I think bosses just kind of like to just rely, just like not even try to talk it out or anything. They're just like, yeah, just kind of just do your best to get it done. And
well, not to mention this, right? We open at 11 a.m. I said that earlier. I didn't go in until 1:45 yesterday, and I was in women's and kids footwear, which gets absolutely fucking destroyed by customers, might I add. And there was supposed to be another kid in there who was supposed to be in there at 10 o'clock in the morning, and he called off. He didn't even call off. He called and quit. He just called and said, I'm done working for you guys. So not only was there nobody in that zone from 11 until almost 2 p.m. when I got there, and it was trashed. So not only did I constantly have to try to keep up with that and customer service and everything else by myself while I'm getting pulled into the office and getting bitched at for calling off, like that was my whole day yesterday.
Yeah, it's kind of like that feeling like if you guys would just leave me alone, I could actually do some work for y'all.
Right.
And, like they shouldn't have even made that a thing at all. Like that, like if y'all did have a point system, if they wanted to just say, hey, like if you, like with hours we get 5, and then if you're 5, you're terminated, like that's some breathing room. Like that should have only been like, okay, a 1 point situation, like, or maybe 2 for 2 days, but like, and we have like protected PTO and stuff like that you can use where you build up hours to use to cover your points if you need to. Like, and I just don't understand, like, I don't know. There's something wrong with like the higher ups where you're at, where it's like I can't believe they haven't created some kind of system like that.
Well, they're calling me in for
whereas they're just like, you called in once,
tomorrow,
okay,
so.
we're thinking about firing you. Like what? Like
yeah.
That doesn't even make any sense. Being sick is sick. And they should definitely understand, by the way, in the middle of all this crap, like, they can't... I didn't even think of that till just now. Like, coronavirus, like, they should be understanding even more so with that. Like, they shouldn't be coming to you like, we're thinking about firing you. Like, we have coronavirus around and you're going to get mad at me for calling in sick? Anyway.
So, yep, I'm supposed to have another meeting with that said manager tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes. The manager that wrote me up,
I feel
so
like
we'll see.
you would have already found out that you were done, like I feel like they're going to try to work something out, but it's, that's ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to refuse to sign their write-up paper again tomorrow, so.
It's like, I ain't signing anything.
Yeah.
What would the paper even mean?
Like,
what does putting your name on that paper even say? I agree that, like, I shouldn't be fired? Like, that makes no sense.
Like I agree that I had, negligence to attendance and stuff like that, and that I'm willing to receive the proper coaching to stop that from happening. It's like that's not how any of this works.
Yeah, forget that.
So I'm not going to sign their paper. So we'll see. We'll see if they tell me to leave, then I'll just see ya. Goodbye.
See ya. Like I told you through text, though, man, I feel like, rather you're fired or not, I don't think it's going to happen, but no matter what happens, I feel like you could find something else because you have years of experience in that department. So it's like, I mean, there's got to be somebody that needs somebody. I mean, you never know, but
yeah, I'll bounce back quick, man. I always have.
Like you said, looking for something else while you're still working there, that would be probably like beneficial just because what if you do find something you like better and you're just like, oh, well, and then you could literally be like, okay, guys, see ya. Like, you literally would be able to just bounce.
Right.
That's kind of
Yeah,
what
I
I
think
did
that's
with
what
my
I'm gonna
last
do.
job. Some friends there didn't want me to leave, and I was just like, I can't keep doing this. Like, this is just like a toxic pattern of just like, and I was driving so far to go and everything too, to work 5 days a week. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm glad I left that place too, because supposedly they might go under now. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know, but who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to say. So now onto your story. Is it a negative or a positive story?
It's a positive sort of like, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going to go with it, but it does have to do with Liquid Ice, weirdly enough, which has nothing to do with them themselves, but it does.
I just want to say, I heard back, and I'm going to be doing a video, but I'm waiting for them to send the thing that they're supposed to send to me for said video. And I reached out to Veronica yesterday. I was like, hey, like, you said you were gonna ship some stuff out. Like, I have this time to film this video. And she's like, oh, hey, like, our warehouse is really backed up. They haven't got it out yet. She's like, I'm gonna send it from our main office. I'll get you a tracking number ASAP. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That'll be great. I'm excited to see where things go with them, and we're still working on. Me and Dustin are still kind of in the process of seeing if they. And I know, like with COVID and everything, they're like she said, they're backed up and everything, and so things are kind of crazy right now. But when we can, we definitely like to have one of the team members on the podcast because I just want to talk to them. I just want to be like, hey, like how did this come about? Like somebody from the team that knows, like, where y'all came from, like what, like, because there's probably a really cool story behind that, and I feel like it would just be cool. And they're a very, very underrated drink and company, so I'm still drinking them. I still got some more 16 ounce that I bought, but and I sent some to my buddy Tyler that I play with on Xbox. He was curious about them, and I was just like, well, I'm just gonna send you this these 16 ounce, and because they could just do it straight from Amazon, like they distribute through Amazon. So I just put his address in, boom, there you go. It was like 2 more days, and he had it. And I was like, okay, cool. But
That's crazy.
yeah, he really likes them a lot, and now he's like, man, I kind of want to try the blue one. I'm like, well, I'll get you the blue one next. But because it's all red, because I kind of wish the 16 ounce could do mixes. You could just like have like a whole
Pick and choose
thing of them of the different flavors, but you can only with 16 ounce you can just do like a flavor at a time. So I'm gonna try to get him the blue one soon. Red and blue being my 2 favorites, and Thomas agrees with that.
They are very good.
I don't know, which one did you say you liked the best?
I don't know. I like the blue and the orange.
Yeah, the orange is pretty good too. Straight up orange soda, but liquid ice version. So
Oh my god.
I'm gonna try to just like do it in
I
order.
just failed so hard.
What?
I just failed so hard. And I gotta let my cat out of my room, so just give me like 1 second.
You good? So I pulled back into work the other day. I was actually pulling back in. No, never mind. I had gone outside to take a break. And I was just like blasting some Wage War and like some other bands.
We love Wage War.
And do what?
I love Wage War.
I know they're so like I really got into them. Like I'm actually currently like listening to all of their albums because they just recently, like I think 2015 or 2016 something like that is when they started. So
Blueprints, really good album.
yeah, so So is their wait, is the first? Yeah, that is their first one. Is it? I'm confused now because those two albums both have like a blue background, so it's kind of confusing. But anyway, I was just blasting some Wage War, and you know that thing where you don't even know that there's someone as close to your car when you're blasting music? Because, like, you know, it depends on the moment, but sometimes I kind of park far away from work, and, like, and then in this moment, it's like we had already, because we do the 8:30 close thing to customers right now because of COVID, and so, like, there's, like, nobody, so I'm just, like, blasting some Wage War, and I didn't even realize there's, like, a freaking guy, like, in the parking lot, and you've probably seen stuff like this, like, I've seen them at Target and stuff, but there's be, like, little islands of grass, like, with concrete kind of around them, but then there's, like, a tree or something. There's a dude just, like, laying under the tree, and I barely could tell that he was even him, so I kind of had a moment, like, when I noticed him, like, wow, I've been sitting here blasting this music for, like, 30 minutes, and so he's probably had to hear every bit, and it's not the most, like, oh yeah, I want everyone to hear this kind of songs, so it's like, it's whatever, but it just kind of was a little bit of like, that's awkward. But anyway, once I noticed, like, he was there, I turned it down, but then I got out of my car because I was just taking my last break, and usually me and Thomas, like, he wasn't there, but me and him usually wait till the end of the night for our last break, so you just go to break and then clock out. Like, it's just better. Gonna get a lot more done, get completely done with everything, and then just take a break and be able to go. So, went in to clock out, came back, and, it's just like, it's one of those things where something just comes over you of what something you need to do. Like, for me, I feel like it was maybe God telling me, because I just kind of felt it. I just felt that, like, pull to do it. I had a Liquid Ice that was closed. Like, it wasn't open yet. It was cold because I had got it. I had got it from my house. And so I was just thinking, like, I should go over there and give this to him. But it took a lot. I don't know. It took me to summon it, kind of. I was like, man, like, I wasn't, like, afraid. It was just kind of like, I don't know. You think of all the scenarios, like, you never know what people are like. He could have been, like, the meanest old man, like, ever. But then, benefit of the doubt, I always try to, like, just think of, like, well, this is something that's, like, maybe he doesn't have a drink. Like, Liquid Ice wouldn't be the healthiest thing, but I didn't have any water or anything. Right. But hey, at least Liquid Ice isn't like a Monster or something where you get a crash and stuff. There's, like, no crash in Liquid Ice is my favorite part about them. And me and Dustin but you can check out the reviews that me and Dustin have done. We've done, like, all the flavors reviews, and we approve. As Davey504 says, approved. But anyway.
Yes.
Slapped like an owl. But so, yeah, he was just laying there under the tree, and so obviously he's homeless, like, unless he just wasn't, I don't know. Like, he didn't have, like, he was clean-shaven and everything, so I don't know, maybe, I don't know. I don't know his situation. But, so, I'm about to leave, and I was just like, you're gonna regret it if you take off without giving that to him. So, I just walked up. It was like, hey, man, like, you thirsty? And I think he mumbled something like, oh, yeah, sure, or something like that. I don't know what he said. And, like, I handed it to him, and he immediately just stopped and was like, you're probably wondering why I'm out here, huh? Like, and I kind of forgot that I was still wearing my uniform. I'll just call it that. But I was wearing that, and I didn't even really think about that. So he was probably like, oh, an employee's out here checking up. Like, not really, but if he might have, that's just probably what he thought is like this. I don't know. Anyway, and, like, he just, like, he said that. He's like, you're probably wondering why I'm out here. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, I said something like, I don't have to know. But if you want to if you want to say it, like, sure, if you want to tell the story or whatever. And he told me everything but why he's out there right now. He was freaking laying on a military bag too. Forgot about that detail, but and a lot of the homeless guys like to have those. I I guess just maybe because they were in the military. But they use like these big military bags, and he was laying on that like it was basically a bed. And like he had a phone too, is what I noticed. He did have a phone, and he was swiping through it, and I don't know, but I just found it strange. Like, but he is laying out here like he's gonna go to sleep, you know. So I assume still to this very moment that he's homeless. I don't know, but you know, I handed it to him because I was also having that thought like what homeless guy is ever going to be handed something like liquid ice? That was another thought that I had too, is like he's never going to be able to try this unless someone gives him one. So gave it to him, and he started telling me stuff, and I mean, some of it I kind of, you know that thing when someone's telling you a story, you just kind of like, it's not like you mean to tune out, but you just kind of, you're thinking more about the situation you're in. Like, it's like I'm sitting here talking to this homeless guy, like, and he's just going on, and some of it I was paying attention to, and some of it just kind of like blended together. And what I could make out of his stories, it wasn't like gibberish where he's like crazy. He talked very like, he really talked with intelligence. Like, he really like at least seemed like it. And I know, and I am very aware, people, that some of this may not be true. Like, it really may not. But, you know, it could be. Like, it's literally 50-50. It might all be a lie, or it may be the truth. Rather it happened or it didn't. So, but either way, no matter what, it seems interesting. And it was an interesting thing, and it was a thing that just, like, it made my week, because I was just like, this is crazy. But basically, he went on and on about this woman that he loved and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, she went away, and then they found each other again and all this stuff. And, like, how he's Christian, she really wasn't, and he kind of, like, brought her to Jesus and stuff like this, and like she's a much happier person, and like all this stuff, like a lot of stuff that I'm probably not getting 100% correct. But the craziest part about it was that he basically said, he told me like war stories. Like, he was in the military, he was even once in the Secret Service. And I'm just like, this is crazy, you know, like this is like, he could easily be making all this up as he says it. But if it's true, it's really freaking amazing. Like, he just talked about, like, how, I don't know, he had to, like, it's like people he's had to hunt down and, like, all this stuff, and orders from the president and all this stuff. And I'm just like, this is pretty crazy. And if it's true, that's amazing. Like, this guy, and I'm sitting there, and I told, I forgot who I told. I think I told Ryan about it afterwards. I told somebody. And I told him, like, this dude is alive right now. So if any of this is true, like, he went through all of it and survived. Like, just the whole story just kind of blew my mind, like, just on a certain level where it's like, you know, it may not be true, but it was still interesting. And one thing that came to mind when I told Dustin about talking about this on the podcast is, like, I was going to ask him, like, is there any homeless man, and we've maybe even mentioned it a couple times, or even just off podcast, but, like, is there any homeless guy or anything, or homeless woman that you've ran into that you're like, you've had a good interaction with? Because I'm just generally curious.
Never anybody homeless, but one time on Friday the 13th, I only know this because I went and got hand tattoos like a moron. This tattoo shop in this place called Mars, PA. It's called Mars, and it's just this little small town, and they have like this big festival, and they like something with like, it's like almost like, it's like the Roswell, New Mexico of Pennsylvania, and all the locals there that have lived there their whole life, like, it was crazy. And I remember I was standing outside this tattoo shop, and this older couple came out, and they're like, oh, hey, like, you know, what's going on? And we're like, oh, it's Friday the 13th. You get tattoos. And somehow the conversation just kind of transpired about, like, the town. And they were telling us about, like, all these cool festivals that used to happen on the streets when they were growing up. And, like, just all the cool stuff that they've got to do. And, like, just how much, like, they love this little town, and, like, they never wanted to leave. It was like a part of them, and it was just so cool to like hear stuff like that, you know, because like you hear your grandparents and people talk about that stuff, like what it was like for them growing up in like a small town, and it's just I love stuff like that, and they were just so nice and just so kind, and like this lady ended up bringing like fresh baked cookies to everybody in the line, and they were just sitting there just like telling us stories about like their childhood and like what was so great about this town, and you know like how some of these buildings have been there for ever since they can remember, and it was just a really cool experience with them.
The other thought that I had about this guy is, I don't know, like the craziest part is I don't know if I'll ever see him there again, because honestly it might have been a situation where he's just like on the move and he's just walking from place to place, maybe just like walking across the country or something, but either way he was there and I've never seen him before and I haven't seen him since, which then again this was only a few nights ago. So I just, it was just interesting. It was just one of those interactions where afterwards I was like, oh yeah, I know where I could put this, the podcast. Yeah. So I just kind of like, I just thought it was interesting. The dude was clean shaven and like he just had like jeans and a t-shirt. Like, I mean, he didn't seem like he'd been out there long. We have a lot of homeless people around here, and there's this one in particular that has a huge beard, huge hair. You could tell he's like filthy, and this guy just seemed different in some way, and like really, like he's got most of his marbles still upstairs. I don't know. But then again, it could have been just general mumbling of like a dude that really does have problems upstairs. Like you never know. But the saddest part about all of it, I never got his name. And I never got his reaction to the drink. He never opened it. So I really wish I could have just he just held on to it while telling stories, and I just kind of wish. And after I drove off is when it hit me, like, I didn't introduce myself, which my name badge would have been right there, but like I didn't introduce myself, and I did not ask this man's name, and I regret that, and I'm gonna probably regret that forever now. Not on like an extreme level, but just a general like regret. Like I wish I would have found out the dude's name. I even told Ashley, I was like, I could have Googled him. Who knows? Who knows what kind of stuff you could find on the internet? Right. But like he might be a bigger deal than I can imagine. But I don't know. It just was it was the most different interaction with any of them that I've ever had. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any cash on me, or I probably would have given him some, but it just, yeah, it's just, you never know. Like, you literally never know. Like, this was just like a regular work day. I get off work, and then this dude's outside. Like, it's just crazy how that kind of, like, those kind of interactions you could have. And like I said, I wish I could have just been mentally writing down like every word he said just to kind of like review it later. What the hell did this dude say again? Like it's all just like I remember some of it and some of it's just a blur. And so I don't know, but it's crazy.
That is wild. Who knows? Could be true, like you said.
Like he might have literally worked for the president, like and stuff like this, and it just and he said something about 1970 something, so that was I forgot to say the year he was saying this all took place. But I mean, if it's true, that sounds like it would line up. And I'm trying to even remember who was president in the 70s. But anyway, depends on the part of the decade. But yeah, that's crazy.
That is definitely wild. Definitely wild. It was a good story. Definitely a lot better than mine. Yours was a little more wholesome. Mine was a little more angry.
I just I wish I just had more details, or I'd probably be able to talk about that guy for the whole hour. But I wish I could remember more details about it. I remember him also saying like, something about being on the front lines somewhere. I wish I could remember where he said he was, but. And I don't know if he literally means that he got to shoot at the enemy, but I'm pretty sure he said something about this like technique, which I've seen it in movies and games especially, but I've never actually seen it firsthand in real life. But the whole system where you're shooting and you have a partner behind you that hands you the ammo, like, and stuff like that. He said he got to experience that, and I'm just thinking about all the stuff that he may or may not have went through, and I'm just like, dang, like, and I think I told him by the end of it, I was like, well, I mean, you're still here, so it's something it was meant for something. I don't remember
Right.
really what I said, but I just kept saying stuff like, that's crazy, and wow, like stuff like that. Like I didn't even know what to say to the guy. Like, and I was also kind of thinking, how do I get out of this? Because I needed to go home, and I left like my car on, and I just kind of was like, I need to just go. Like it was nearing it was like 20 minutes into me being off work, and it was like, okay, and it started raining a little bit, so that was kind of my escape. I was like, well, it's raining now, so I'm gonna hit the old dusty trail, like. And then I kind of felt bad thinking about how, like, I say that it's raining, I'm gonna go to my house, and then he can't. So I'm just like, it's
Well,
kind
not
of
that
ironic.
you know of, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. You never know. There's a hotel like right by the store, so but then my thought is like, but why is he out here then? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. So I picked up on a new hobby recently, and that's
Yeah,
been
you
real
did.
fun. Yeah. So I made another YouTube channel. as if
What is this? The 7th? No, I'm kidding.
as if I already don't have enough between Minecraft, my Funko Pop channel, this
Yeah,
podcast.
that would be my only other opinion on it. Is it's great and everything, but I don't know, sir. I don't know how you're, because I've got this and my channel, and I don't know how, and I sometimes feel like I can barely do that. So I don't know how you're pulling that off, but I like that you're trying it out. Like because I'm sure you're gonna do something really cool with it. So I mean,
It's
but
definitely a lot
I
of
generally don't know how you're balancing it, especially with everything else going on in your life. So
Right. Well, to see, like, right now, that's like my getaway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I did today. I went and played today. And if you obviously you don't know what I'm talking about because I haven't said it. I've been playing disc golf, and how this came about was I've played for fun with Eric and his dad ever since I moved back from Florida back in whenever 2017, I think 2017, yeah. 2016, I don't know, but I started playing then. Like, we'd go to the park and they would like let me borrow their discs and we would just play. And it kind of got to the point that like I played it so much to the point that I was like, okay, this is actually like really fun. So then I started asking them if they wanted to play, like, hey, let's meet up and go play 9 holes or go play all 18, whatever. And we did. And then I just got more and more into it. So eventually I went to like Walmart and I bought like a starter pack where you get 3 discs for like $20. You get like a mid-range, a fairway driver, and a putter. And that's what I used. And then I started to like really get back into it. Now like summer's here, it's nice outside. I live right across the street from a fucking course. Like I can literally stand in my driveway and throw it and hit a basket. Like that's how close I am. And I was just like, man, like I'm really, really like during the whole quarantine thing, by the way, I've been in like this mood to just kind of learn new things and kind of pursue new things or maybe take things I already liked and try to improve on it. And I got really into like animating things on After Effects. And then I really started to pick up on disc golf and I realized that there's like a whole pro scene. Like there are professionals that get paid money to play this sport. And it's not even a super popular sport. So I started looking into it and I learned like, okay, there's all these different companies that make these different discs and all these different companies make discs out of different plastics and every plastic flies different. Like for example, I have a disc called the Crank in the Z-Flex plastic. And my friend Eric has the Crank in the Z-Line plastic and his crank flies different than my crank even though it's the same disc, but because the plastics are just a little bit differently, they fly differently. You have discs that fly very straight. You have some that finish left. You have some that finish right. Like there's so much more that goes into it. It's like golf. You have different clubs and different swinging techniques and, you have different throws. You can throw a roller. You can throw forehand, backhand, hyzer, anhyzer, hyzer flip. Like there's all different kinds of things and it gets so in depth and I just become fascinated with it. And how this whole, me starting this channel came about with Eric was, we went to this toy store and we bought like these really good discs, right? Like I finally got like top of the line discs and I'm having fun throwing them. It's been great. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know if you guys are like this, but anytime that I get something new, I like to go on YouTube and watch reviews on it because I want to know what I'm getting.
Yeah,
So,
I do too.
Right. So I went on YouTube and I was like, okay, I want the crank and the Z Flex plastic review. I want to know how this disc flies, and nobody had reviews on it. And Eric like had these discs in this titanium plastic, and nobody had reviews on it. And I was like, dude, why don't we just do disc reviews? Because I know people are looking for this. We can't be the only ones. So like that's how it happened, and we started coming across these channels of these guys reviewing discs that had like only a couple hundred subscribers. There was a couple people with less than 100 subscribers that had these companies that had all these discs from these different brands that were just sending them out to them for them to try and to keep and to learn and practice. And I was like, dude, we could do that. Like, this could actually be something. It's something we both enjoy doing. We've been playing it off and on for the better part of the last 3 or 4 years. Why not just, like, you know, we're not good. Obviously, we're not on a professional level, but we're trying. And I was like, that'd be so cool to document it and just kind of see our progression over time and, you know, learning different throws and different techniques. And that's what came about. And, like, this channel... My first video on there, like, the channel hit 12 subs in one day, which may not seem like a lot to people, but that's a lot to me. And my first video has, like, 33 views.
That's crazy.
And it's like one of those sports that's, like, growing.
Looking for it.
Right. So we're going to start doing disc reviews and stuff like that here pretty soon. And I'm just excited, man. And I encourage you, Travis. I'm sure there's disc golf courses all around you. Dude, go to Walmart. Pick up a starter set for $20 and go out and just try it. Because it's one of those sports, like, you can either take it seriously and really try hard at it and have fun doing that, or you can just play and just mess around. Like, you and Ashley can go out and just, you know, see who can throw the farthest and who can get closer to the basket. And it's just a good, fun sport. Like, my 7-year-old son literally gets excited to go out and play disc golf because he likes standing 20, 30 feet away from the basket and trying to throw it in. Like, he actually really enjoys it. So it's cool. It's cool to be able to share that.
Yeah, it sounds fun, and I definitely need something that's like includes going outside and stuff. I've been trying to get into that mentality a lot, and especially like with us as YouTubers, it's like we get caught up in like the sitting down and editing, or you're like streaming or whatever, and then you just kind of miss sometimes just going outside and getting air, and sometimes you just need that.
And you know what's awesome about disc golf too? Travis, you seem like you really like nature and like taking walks and stuff like that. You strike me as that kind of person. We've talked about that.
Yeah.
The thing about disc golf from regular golf is regular golf's played on a big open course. Disc golf, you go places that you would never think about going. Like, there's this place, Moraine State Park, which is actually like a pro course. Like, the pros literally stop here on their tours, and it's 25 minutes away from where I live, and they play disc golf. And I went and played that course, and I mean, I'm in like just big open fields and like surrounded by trees and then in wooded areas, and there's like little creeks and rivers and like just so many cool little things that you would never normally see unless you're like deep in the woods. And it's so cool. And the cool thing about that course is people go there and they'll leave like towels on the tee off so you can wipe your discs off, and they'll like leave old brooms and stuff there so you can, you know, dust off the tee pads and everything like that. It's just like a nice sport, you know, like, and it's cool. Like the park, the course right across the street from my house, by hole 7, there's like a big muddy area off to the right hand side. And me and my brother grabbed muck boots and we went back there, and I found a $20 disc just sunk in the mud that somebody threw in there and wasn't able to get. Today, wow. Eric and I were walking in a field, and I like stepped down. We were on this course because we went back to find his old disc. And I like, we were walking in this field, and they mowed it all down, and you could tell it was still kind of like crunchy and gross because it was like hay and stuff there. So like I stepped down and I was like, oh, that feels weird. And I looked down and there was like a freaking disc underneath my foot that somebody just lost. So like literally in the past week, I found 3 different discs playing disc golf. And it's awesome, but it's so fun. And it honestly has motivated me to just get outside. Like there's times like even after work where I'm so stressed out, I'm like, oh my God, like I got off a good time. I still have some daylight. Like I want to go throw a few holes if I can. And I tried to do that every day. And like, I got so tan, and it just like, I don't know. It just makes me want to get out and just have fun instead of sitting inside and playing video games all day. So I definitely recommend the sport for anybody to try because it's awesome, and you can play with your family.
Yeah. That's how I am with like mini golf. I love mini golf so much. It's like so freaking fun to like line up your shots and stuff, and kind of that competitive level of it, which is obviously it's two different things, but either way, both is like golf in some way. Um, but yeah, I mean, it just yeah, it depends on the mood, depends on everything. But yeah, I'll always recommend to people like yeah, just like get outside more and exercise will not hurt you; it will help you. um, so yeah, it's always good. We'll have to try to look around and do some research on like places around here.
There's a free app on your phone. Download it. It's called UDisc, like the letter U, DISC. It's free to download. You make an account on there, and you go to like course list, and it will literally give you every course within probably like a 20-mile radius of you. And you'd be surprised how many courses that you live by that you didn't even know existed.
Right. Probably so, because I definitely don't see any really from where I drive and stuff, but I driving back and forth to work and place to eat and stuff is around here is a very close area, so
But that's the thing.
there's
You could
even
be
parts
driving
of the
past it and
city I
not even
live in
know.
that I've never even been, so do what?
You could be driving past some every day and you don't even know.
Right. Well, do you have your recommendation? Because I sure don't.
My recommendation, yeah, check out disc golf, man. Like seriously, it's so fun. And Travel
Yeah,
put a link to my
we'll
channel.
leave the link to his channel because obviously we want to support Dustin's goals. No pun intended for disc golf, but I'll leave that in the description. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I haven't watched any of those videos yet, but I'm going to.
I uploaded
now
one
that
today.
we
It was
now
10
that we've
minutes.
talked about it, I'm like, it's like you giving me the pitch of it is like, oh, I want to go watch one now. It's like immediately like that feeling. What were you saying?
I actually uploaded a video today. It's only 10 minutes long.
Nice.
It's just me playing 9 holes. Yeah, it's fun. It's a good time.
9 holes.
9 holes. You got a recommendation?
Did you
You
say
got it?
yours?
Oh, I guess really to elaborate on it is, it's summertime, man. Get out and live. Pick up a new sport.
Get out and live. Yeah, you never know what you're gonna like and stuff, and that's kind of what life is just experiencing things that you never really thought you would. And video games and stuff is cool, like, and I love playing, but yeah, there is sometimes that itch of like I want to go out, and I don't know, there's always something in the way. Like I got a video to do, I got a video to edit, blah blah blah. Like there's always something down the pipeline I want to do next, but sometimes I do miss like going outside and stuff because I have gained weight and I'd like to try to get out there and shed some sweat. Sweating helps you shed the pounds, and
Oh yeah. You definitely get
it
some
just depends.
exercise in playing disc golf because, like I said, like you walk up hills, down hills, like and sometimes you get yourself in some pretty compromising positions where you have to like stretch and lean and manipulate your body a certain way to try to get a good shot.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's great, and I recommend it. And it's so funny because I remember this park that I play at when they first added it years back. You know, like I'd be in the park and I would see people playing. I'm like, wow, that looks so fucking lame. And then like you go out and you actually try it, and I mean, of course, nobody starts off great, and everybody likes to think, oh, it's like throwing like a frisbee. It's nothing like throwing a frisbee. Completely different. When Trav watches the video, he'll see like the throwing technique between throwing a frisbee and a disc. Completely different.
I guess I don't know. If you get that urge, guys, and I see people do it all the time, I see it more than I think that I probably would see it as people being nice to homeless people and stuff. Like I'll see them at the red light down here down the street, and someone will hand out $1 or $2 out the window. Like just like I don't know. You don't have to give to homeless people, but they're struggling just like how we struggle with things. I mean, like we're in, most of us, are in a better position than they are, but they're also human beings. Just like even if you just want to, like I could have just not given him a drink and just talked to him in general, but
Right.
it was nice to give him the drink as like I mean, it could have because for all I knew, it was just going to be I hand him the drink and I go home. But little did I know he was just going to open up like, hey, you want to know how I got here? And then talk about everything but. But it was interesting, and it was something that I'll never forget. And you just got to, I think creating those kind of memories is important in life. And, like, even if you just want to go talk to a homeless person, like, you know, I know that some of them probably can be dangerous, like, but a lot of homeless people that I've met is just these really laid back, down to earth, like genuine people that are just having a hard time. And maybe we could do a whole episode about like homeless people and like I don't know, like the whole idea that like if there's like a homeless person standing outside stores and stuff and they could easily be trying to find a job like and all this stuff, but they're not. Like there's a whole conversation to be had about that. Like, and I do feel like I do have that gray area type of opinion on it where it's like I feel for them, but I don't sometimes. It's like, and I understand like the mentality may be different or like you never know. Like they could legitimately have a mental problem or you don't know their situation. But I've literally seen like this homeless person, and not that particular homeless guy, but this other homeless person that I know for sure is homeless, have a job at a taco place, and now he's homeless again. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know his situation, but it hurts you to see that, where it's like, oh, you could have climbed that ladder, but you're out here holding a sign again. Like, right. You know, and it just, I don't know. That's a whole other thing, whole other episode if we want it to be, but just, you know, check on them. That'd be my recommendation. Is just like, hey, like, what's up? Like, and they might tell you their whole story about how they got here. And, you know, you just never know. If you have, like, a bottle of water and, like, or you bought an extra of something at the store, like, just, you know, every now and then. I need to do it more. I've given to homeless people maybe, like, 2 or 3 times now in my whole life. But I feel like I always feel better afterwards. And it's kind of like a, hey, no matter what, no matter if that dude drank that night or not, either way, the next day it was going to be sunlight. It's probably hot. If he drank it and it refreshed him, then I feel like I did a good thing. And that's not to be like putting myself on a pedestal, but and now there's fireworks going off, and I don't know why this late. Last night there was fireworks going off at 3 a.m. That's ridiculous. But anyway, got anything else to say, Dustin, before we go?
No, that's all.
Well, we thank you so much for listening. We appreciate your patience with us. We've been kind of like wishy-washy back and forth about being able to do episodes, but I feel like I'm really refreshed now to keep going, and I definitely want to keep doing episodes with Dustin and then the occasional Ryan episodes, and also us 3 at some point. We'll do it. And other things to come. Like, we have people, like, I've got a couple of people that are like, hey, you looking for guests? I'm like, yeah, I just got to create the time to do it with them and set up something. But, yeah, look forward to more episodes, and you'll be talking to us next time.
Yep. See ya.